To be a good manager, you've got to be a good coach. One of the more common questions I get asked from an HR point of view is, how do I get and ultimately keep good employees? Now, if you manage a team, you're ultimately responsible for their performance. And so if someone in that team doesn't perform, the whole team doesn't perform. So it's the manager's obligation to go and work with those weakest members, the newest members, and strengthen their ability, which then builds the overall strength of the team. Good coach is going to encourage others to perform, but encourage them to perform from their passion, as opposed to a draconian style of leadership. You get far more performance from someone if they're performing out of something that they want to do. So people want to feel as if they're making a difference, and if they're achieving something and they're being appreciated, then that's a win-win scenario for everyone involved. You want to try and avoid that "I'm the boss, do as I say." That doesn't inspire anyone to perform. In fact, that's probably counterproductive. So getting the best performance from your team comes from effective communication and working with your team to and understanding your team so that you can get that best performance. And overall, this then builds loyalty. And once you've got that loyalty, people are going to want to stay. So here are 6 tips to help you increase your ability to be a coach with your team, which will then in turn help you excel as a manager. We'll come over here. We'll look at, so first up, we've got number 1. We're going to, a good manager listens openly. They seek first to understand and then to be understood. This comes from one of my favorite books, which is written by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. People's greatest desire in communication is not necessarily that they have their point taken on and used as the best opinion or anything like that. It's simply that they are understood. And I'm sure we've all experienced a situation where we've gone through a deep and meaningful discussion where we've had our point validated and we've been made to feel as if we've had something important to say. It's a great feeling. We don't care then necessarily whether people go on and think, okay, this is the way forward, but we feel validated, and that is important. If people feel as if they've been listened to and understood, then they are going to be in a far better position to work with and move towards a common goal. And ultimately, as a manager, your role is not to have the best ideas. To be a manager, the role of the manager there is to make the decisions from their understanding of the options that are available to them. So as a manager, you're got an obligation to listen and understand all of the options that are put before you, not to come up with those best ideas. So number 2, we'll go down here, is positive guide, to give positive guidance and regular feedback. To give positive guidance, you want to be in a position of higher ground. And that, when I say that, I mean not being in the forest, is getting stuck in the forest for the trees. You want to be up above that forest so you can see where you're going. So from a coach's point of view, you need to be able to identify strategic direction and come up with a game plan with that incorporates the whole picture. So what activities are going to provide or give you the greatest return on investment or effort from your team's point of view? Going through and developing individuals to perform on their own to a company standard is their highest level of leverage. So you want to don't get stuck down on that day-to-day grind. Lift yourself up and look at that overall picture so that you can come up with a good decision. Next, ask, don't demand. I'm sure we've all heard people say, "I'm the boss, I want you to do it this way." It doesn't really inspire us to go and do a fantastic job. You probably go and do it, but you don't go and do it if you are passionate about it, as well as if you are passionate about it. Next, identifying the target as a manager, you identify the target for them, and then let them identify how they're going to go about hitting that target. So, and a great example is with Steve Jobs, where he said it just doesn't make sense to go and hire smart people and then tell them what to do. Instead, hire smart people so that they can tell us what to do. And I love that saying. Good leaders ask great questions and inspire others to think. So, and come up with their own solution there. Well, go on to the next one. Number 5, align individual organisations and objectives. So when coming up and developing a strategic plan, first of all, you go about the process of identifying company objectives and developing company KPIs. Then the next step down, you will look at individuals or look at tasks that need to be done within there and assign those tasks to the individuals with the strengths in those particular areas. Then those people end up getting objectives and KPIs that are more in line with that task. But overall, if the individuals are performing and hitting their KPIs, then the organisation is going to be performing and hitting its KPIs there. And that's a win-win scenario, and that's using people to their strength to help the organisation hit its objectives. Next, we've got leveraging accountability and challenging people. So accountability isn't following people up and delivering some form of punishment for not doing what they said they were going to do. Accountability is more paying attention to what people have said that they were going to do, and letting them know that you're relying on them, and diligently following them up and making sure that they are going to deliver. Provide them with the support that they need to be able to deliver those things, and make sure that ultimately that task gets delivered at the required time that it was committed to. We'll come back over. So overall, coaching your team builds trust and loyalty and a sense of belonging, and that is the responsibility of a good manager. This way, you will have good, high-performing individuals within your team. They'll have a strong sense of belonging, and you'll be able to keep and retain those individuals for longer. The second point I want to just make there also is that the last benefit of coaching individuals and teams is that personal reward that you get when you see the pride on an individual's face when they have just achieved something great. And ultimately, that's because they had an awesome coach. If you want to know more about what I've talked about here, or need help in developing systems for your business to get better performance, click on the link below or go to systemsstrategy.com.au. I look forward to helping you achieve your goals.